Life in Maui, Hawaii, is known for its laid-back vibe. The North Shore of Maui, famous for its massive waves, draws surfers, beach lovers, and those who cherish a relaxed way of life. Charli Scott was perfectly at home here. Charli, with her vibrant personality, lived near the North Shore and embraced Maui's easygoing lifestyle. Known for her striking red hair and pin-up girl charm, she had a love for eclectic music, vintage clothing, and was always ready to belt out a song. Having moved from Woodland, California in 2004, Charli at 27 still had a youthful spirit. She adored unicorns, and her all-time favorite film was The Last Unicorn from 1982. She often used a quote from the Chinese philosopher Yu Ru, referring to herself as a unicorn among beasts. Tragically, it was here that she met her own beast, Steven Capobianco. Charli and Steven first crossed paths in 2009. She was 22, he was 19, and there was an immediate spark for Charli, at least. They soon moved in together in Kula, a quiet area a bit away from the bustling Paia beach town. Despite living together for 2 years, Steven often insisted to friends that they were merely roommates, even avoiding photos with her. Charli's affection for Steven was clear, but it was a one-way street. Steven never expressed love for her. Their connection seemed shallow, limited mostly to physical encounters. Charli played a nurturing role, keen on making Steven comfortable by cooking and cleaning, while Steven preferred lounging with video games or tinkering with his truck. Although they shared a home, their lives seldom intertwined in meaningful activities. While friends never saw signs of physical abuse, Steven secretly harbored harsh feelings for her, confiding to friends his dislike for her with harsh words. After Steven and Charli ended their relationship, they still saw each other off and on. Charli still had strong feelings for Steven despite knowing he didn't truly care for her. Steven, aware that Charli was always available, continued to see her when it suited him. No matter how poorly Steven treated her, Charli couldn't break away from his influence and always responded whenever he reached out. In the autumn of 2013, Steven began seeing a young woman with blonde hair named Cassandra Cupsters. Cassandra felt it was love at first sight. She had been living in Maui, but was planning to return to her hometown in Pennsylvania. They had a brief, intense romance for 3 weeks before she moved 5,000 miles away, yet they fell deeply in love. Once back in Pennsylvania, Cassandra and Steven kept in touch through daily Skype calls. Shortly after her return, they both felt they needed to be together, and Cassandra planned to move back to Maui in February. Both Cassandra and Steven had their issues with staying faithful. Early in their relationship, Steven discovered that Cassandra had been unfaithful. Upset, he went to a bar in Makawao to forget his troubles, where he bumped into Charli. Charli was empathetic and invited him to her place. As had become their pattern, their interaction led to a sexual encounter, although Charli knew she was being used. Despite the hiccup of infidelity, Steven and Cassandra mended their relationship quickly and continued their plans to build a life together in Maui. That October, a little over a month after they were together, Charli discovered she was pregnant. Although it wasn't the perfect timing, Charli had always dreamed of being a mother. When she shared the news with Steven, he was clearly unhappy and demanded a paternity test to confirm if he was the father. The pregnancy complicated Steven's plans with his new girlfriend, Cassandra. He told Charli he wouldn't support the baby and pushed for her to consider an abortion. Charli, feeling pressured, agreed, and they both visited Planned Parenthood for a consultation. At the clinic, the tension between them was noticeable. The clinic director sensed something was off and asked Steven if he was the father. His indifferent reply was, "I guess so, but she's not with me." Seeing the distress on Charli's face, the director became more concerned. In a moment of tension, Steven exclaimed, "We're going to go through with this, aren't we?" Charli agreed, albeit reluctantly, and they scheduled the procedure. However, by Christmas dinner at her half-sister Fiona Wise's home, Charli had made a different choice. She announced to her family that she was 3 months pregnant and decided to keep the baby, intending to raise him alone if necessary. Her announcement surprised everyone, but their initial shock turned into happiness when they saw how thrilled she was. Charli had even chosen a name for her son, Joshua. Curious, Fiona texted Steven to inform him he was the father. Surprised, Steven texted back, "What? How do you know? I thought she had taken care of it." He was unaware that Charli had decided against the abortion. When Fiona called him, he sounded worried and shocked, unable to grasp the change in plans. He reiterated that he thought they had agreed to end the pregnancy. Steven confessed to Fiona that he was in a new relationship with a woman he loved who was planning to move in with him by February. He expressed concern that the baby could disrupt all his plans. He ended the call with a firm, "I need to talk to Charli." It took a few weeks for Steven to muster the courage to discuss the situation with Cassandra during their routine Skype chats. Steven revealed that he wasn't certain if the baby was his and shared that he had encouraged Charli to get an abortion, even accompanying her to the clinic. Cassandra was taken aback by the news. At just 21, she felt unprepared for the role of a stepmother and asked Steven for a few days of silence to think things over. Eventually, Cassandra reached out to Steven and urged him not to be an absent father, insisting that he took responsibility for the child. She stressed the importance of being present for the child, though it was clear that Steven was still not ready to embrace fatherhood. He admitted to Cassandra that he had no emotional attachment to Charli and crudely dismissed their past, saying she was just an easy lay. On the evening of Sunday, February 9th, Charli spent time with her mother and 4 sisters at her sister Brooke's house. They enjoyed a relaxed evening watching Disney movies. Brooke, who had also recently discovered she was pregnant, talked with Charli about their children growing up together on Maui. Brooke remembered feeling Charli's belly and sensing Joshua's movements. Around 8 p.m., Charli hugged her mother, said she loved her, and headed home. Tragically, this would be the last time her family saw her. Charli worked as an administrator at the Hui No'o Visual Arts Center in nearby Makawao. When she failed to show up for work that morning, her mother Kimberlyn tried calling her cell phone. Not receiving a response wasn't initially alarming since Charli was usually busy at work and didn't take personal calls. Kimberlyn then texted her, expecting a reply later. However, as the day went on without any response from Charli, her mother sent more texts, growing increasingly worried with each unanswered message. By 4 p.m., having sent several messages, Kimberlyn's concern deepened, leading her to send a more urgent text, "Where the hell are you?" By 9 p.m., panic had set in for Kimberlyn and the rest of the family. That evening, Kimberlyn and Charli's 16-year-old sister, Phaedra, went to Charli's house. They found Charli's Toyota 4Runner missing and the doors to her home locked. They knew there would be no answer, but they could hear one of her dogs inside. They used their keys to enter. Inside, they discovered Charli's dog, Zoe, alone without any food or water. Charli was known for her responsible nature, particularly concerning her dogs, and would never leave them unattended without necessities. Charli's second dog, Nola, was missing as well. Kimberlyn then remembered that she and Charli used a family tracking app called Life 360 to keep tabs on each other's locations, especially in emergencies. Checking the app, Kimberlyn saw that the last location signal from Charli's phone was at 10:56 p.m., the previous night in Kueni. Kueni is a secluded spot along the north shore of Maui, known for its breathtaking views and massive waves hitting the sharp black rocks along the coast. It was puzzling why Charli, 5 months pregnant, would visit such a remote place late at night. The family speculated about why Charli might be out there so late. There was only one person they could think of that Charli might visit without telling anyone: Steven Capobianco. By 10:19 p.m., Monday night, with no replies to her messages, Kimberlyn sent another text in desperation, "I'm about to call the police, Charli. Where are you?" Still, there was silence. Fearing the worst, Kimberlin contacted the Maui police to report her daughter missing. The following Tuesday morning, at 5:30 a.m., police arrived at Steven Capobianco's residence to question him. Steven seemed unaware of Charli's disappearance until then. He explained that Charli had come to his place Sunday night because he needed a lift to retrieve his truck, which had broken down. He told the police that the battery cable had loosened, and he had left the truck parked on the side of the road to Hana. He needed Charli's help to reach the truck, fix it, and drive it back. He mentioned that his truck was stalled just past Kuani, near mile marker 20, the exact location shown as Charli's last known whereabouts on the tracking app. According to Steven, on that night, Charli drove him to his truck without even having to leave her car. He said she used her car headlights to help him see as he quickly fixed his truck, and the whole task took only a few minutes. Afterward, they both headed back towards town in their separate vehicles. Steven noted that he drives faster and eventually lost sight of Charli's headlights near Ulalina Loop in the Twin Falls area, putting her about 20 minutes from her home. Steven claimed he sent her a text saying "thank you" once he got home, thinking she was busy at work, which was why she didn't reply immediately. At the break of dawn, Charli's family and friends began a thorough search across the island. They feared she might have accidentally driven off the road to Hana and couldn't reach out for help. The search teams meticulously checked the road from Haiku to Hana, a 40-mile stretch known for its dangerous curves, narrow bridges, and steep cliffs by the ocean. They looked for any signs like skid marks, damaged railings, or disturbed bushes that could lead them to Charli. Despite their efforts, they found nothing by the time it got dark on Tuesday. The community rallied, spreading the news of Charli's disappearance on Facebook and local media, which quickly caught the attention of the whole island. This came just a month after another woman from Maui, Morera Moe Monsolve, had also vanished, sparking rumors that the cases might be connected. On Wednesday morning, a significant clue emerged. Charli's other dog, Nola, was discovered wandering around the Niku marketplace, much further towards Hana than where Steven said his truck had broken down, and where he last saw Charli's car lights. Nola appeared well-kept, with clean fur and paws, which suggested she hadn't been walking long distances over rough terrain, a detail that seemed out of place given the rugged area. Finding Nola safe was a relief, yet it raised more questions about what really happened to Charli. Charli's family was certain she would never intentionally leave Nola alone, raising suspicions about how Nola ended up so far down the Hana Highway without any signs of dirt. They suspected someone must have transported her there. That same day, searchers discovered Charli's vehicle. Her 1997 Toyota 4Runner was found near the well-known surf spot, Jaws, overturned and completely charred. Investigators detected traces of accelerants in the passenger area and the back of the SUV, indicating that the fire was intentionally set. Everything in the vehicle that wasn't metal had been incinerated. Nearby residents reported smelling the acrid smoke throughout the night. Charli's father, along with many other family members and friends, flew in from the mainland to join the search. Local residents of Maui also contributed massively, providing horses, search dogs, and even helicopters to aid in the search efforts. However, with the grim evidence and the time elapsed, everyone understood that the likelihood of finding Charli alive was diminishing. On Thursday, a search team found a pair of jeans near the Hana Highway, stained with blood. The jeans were Charli's size, and tests later confirmed that the blood was hers. Additionally, a hair found in the pocket was tested and matched to Steven Capobianco. Late Thursday afternoon, Charli's younger sister Phaedra and Brooke decided to search near Kuani area around Nuelua Bay, the last known location of Charli's phone signal. As they drove down towards Paraquat's beach, they saw headlights approaching from a dirt road. Recognizing them as Steven's truck, they stopped. Steven told them he had already searched the area and found nothing, but offered to search again with them. However, Phaedra and Brooke were wary of him and chose to return home instead. Another friend of Charli's, Adam Gaines, also ran into Steven earlier that day and heard a similar account. Later, when Steven had left the area, Phaedra and two friends went back to search near Paraquat's beach. The brush was dense, and they decided to spread out but stay close enough to keep in touch by voice. Shortly into their search, Phaedra discovered a DVD from the movie Twilight, which she recognized as one from Charli's car. Digging deeper into the woods, another searcher, Molly Worth, found a long black skirt and a blue polka dot tank top, the same outfit Charli wore the last night she was seen. The skirt was punctured at least 20 times near the abdomen area. As they pressed on, reaching a stream, they were hit by a terrible smell of decay. On the stream's bank, they found a green blanket from Charli's car, swarming with maggots. Nearby, they also uncovered a pair of Perry Ellis jeans, a grey hoodie, and 2 rolls of masking tape. Maui police organized a thorough search of the area for the following morning and planned to scrutinize Steven Capobianco's alibi more closely. That morning, the police conducted a detailed forensic examination near Nuelua Bay, where Phaedra had found Charli's belongings. The search turned up a black bra cut in places, 5 fingernails, skin fragments, clumps of red hair, a body piercing still attached to flesh, a bone fragment, and 2 pieces of a lower jawbone. DNA tests confirmed all the items belonged to Charli Scott. The examination of the jawbone indicated it was split into 2, showing signs of being cut with a serrated blade and blunt force trauma. As the search for more remains continued, it became evident that Charli had been murdered, and the investigation shifted to a homicide case. The Maui police were methodical in gathering evidence. At this stage, Steven Capobianco was only labeled a person of interest and not yet officially a suspect. During this period, Steven appeared confident and repeatedly shared his account with journalists. He claimed he had taken a lie detector test and was informed he failed, stating, "They didn't make me take it again. I honestly don't believe I failed. I think they might have just said that to trick me, but I'm not sure. I'm still walking free right now." For months after the discovery of the jawbone, police arrested Steven Capobianco, charging him with second-degree murder and third-degree arson. The case against him grew as inconsistencies in his story began to surface. Despite most of the evidence being circumstantial, the numerous discrepancies were overwhelming. FBI analysis of his cell phone records showed that during the time he claimed his truck was stranded on the road to Hana, his phone was active over 20 miles away in Haiku, near his residence. Steven had also stated that his friend, Kyle Knight, gave him a ride to work the following morning, but Kyle denied this under oath. Surveillance footage from the Bank of Hawaii near Mana Foods, where he worked, showed him driving his truck at 6:41 a.m., contradicting his claim that it was still broken down. Furthermore, a co-worker mentioned forgetting a backpack in Steven's truck, to which Steven responded that it was in the parking lot and could be retrieved there. Even Steven's grandfather confirmed that Steven left home that morning driving his own truck. During the trial, local residents who frequently traveled the road to Hana testified that they had not seen any broken-down vehicles that morning. Steven's explanation for his vehicle's breakdown was also flawed. He claimed a battery cable came loose while driving, but typically, a vehicle would continue running until it was shut off. Another major slip-up occurred during his interviews with police and on television, where he prematurely referred to Charli in the past tense before her remains were discovered. Moreover, he provided 3 different explanations for injuries on his hands, which raised further suspicions. During a Skype call with his girlfriend Cassandra at 2:30 a.m., on the Monday after Charli vanished, Steven appeared frantic and showed Cassandra his injured hands. He explained one hand was hurt by slamming it on the hood of a friend's car, and the other was cut by a battery terminal. Cassandra testified at the trial that he seemed as agitated as someone might be after a car crash. The following day, he told a co-worker at Mana Foods that he hurt his hand while fixing a car window, claiming the cable that lifts the window wrapped around his hand and caused him to lose feeling. However, experts at the trial testified that the Honda window cable is encased and wouldn't wrap around someone's hand. When questioned by police, he changed his story again, claiming he hurt his hands baking at work and slicing his pinky while working on his own truck window. Every part of Steven's account was eventually discredited, including cell phone records that placed him at the remote location where Charli died. The exact manner of Charli's death remains unknown. On December 28, 2016, after 28 days of jury deliberation, Steven Capobianco was found guilty on both counts and sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. While in jail, an incident involving Capobianco's aunt, Susan Capobianco, occurred. She was arrested during a visit to Maui Community Correctional Center for trying to smuggle him a package containing 12 cigarettes, 0.3 grams of methamphetamine, marijuana, hash oil, and rolling papers. She received an 18-month jail sentence and 4 years of probation.